I told one politician yesterday, don't deceive yourself to think that you are going to change Ghana in a year. In a year. When the damage is deep, the renovation is expensive. Give the Lord a clap of, and I'm saying something. When the damage is deep, so you are not, so don't get too excited and don't lift people's hopes. Tell President Mahama, he should not cancel the e-levy tax.
Memo Kwaba, Ediba Gossips 247. So, Abusia, on say, His Excellency Nana Danko Kufuado, Nyame Adum Echina pet no free a bemu. Na obetena so no ense bebre na manfo aka fa no. Ni titiri a manfo betimi dia kan no pa e-levy ene task ahodo ya jeso de toto o man so. Na abusia sen na akusie. Enkom hyebi nso aba de afa e-levy ene saa task ahodo na Nana Danko Kufuado ne na ban beto o man yuso no. Na abusia sen na akusie. Aha Gossips 247. Me patch subscribe it. Like na share na afufro nso ensanka ningi na echi no mepacho click notification icon so ne ban fra membia wonsa etimi akan ahase no makacho say we always keep you updated. One say His Excellency Nana Danko Kufuado omode task yi eba ene e-levy ebe na say omanfo no ebonyo so ba ku sei. Enti ekoda parliament ema ho ensem bebre by nam so mampani abedi akiri Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia akra ka se on de nkonfo aso esan se sene ad enioma si kono on de ne bonyo so kra yera kan oforiata ya nak esabre no no ye so afo hwe sikasem so Minister of Finance de batudwa ya chese omode krata ateten baye somewhere 2021 as a 1st February 2022 take place na no mu no task no nanka 1.75% ena nkombe charge ewo e-levy ni mu eno ena odebetu dwa se omode nkrata aba abonte se sene ade ne si ko no omye ne sa ano oden dodo nti ekoda parliament mrahye bedwafie mo motwetwe ne srani abasa ne ade abobo hu anom se da bi so moteba form nti by 1.5%. Ohane chichemu ba ko achiripo enum eno omode krata ne ba no motwro wase se eyade a ebehya ase ewo May 1st May 2022 Abusia 1st May 2022 enti sa 1st May 2022 no no ena Ghana Revenue Authority GRA fo nso krata ateten eba abonten May bosumen ofori so bosumen de to so aduonu wotwe ewa afempem mienu ne aduonu mienu May 28 2022 mo ese 11 be take place on besi su dia se 1st May 2022 na take place emache se omayi ebeye nsem bebre no we kan na moaye na nsem bebre ebusuya ebeye nsem bebre enti 1st May ni duru ho no ena e-levy take place ya chese na otumu se o se ni sika ye bejewo o ye den ye bejewo ma ho betting task ni ade nyina so ba beka ho chese otumi ho cake yes ye e-levy cake amanfo ebeje na ho na wo mayimu pa na nya asem ketwa eno na echiri His Excellency Nana Danko Kufuado ansana betting task no eba beye adwuma ene e-levy ne beye adwuma no 7th April 2022 okopie mu ewo BBC Africa onmonyamfo Peter Okoche ene no etrase enkomotwetwe mu na Nana Danko Kufuado ebisanse nana yes wo di e-levy ato manfo no so ya che so manfo ne ka ho asem se mo na so setter nana wo di ato mo so adenti na wo yesa ensem de Nana Danko Kufuado
Ghanaian economy at the moment, it's doing. I mean, let's just be honest. It's doing terribly.
Not terribly.
Well, when your inflation in your country, inflation in Ghana.
I don't know the economy in the world that's doing well. Tell me where you are here.
Inflation in Ghana.
The highest inflation.
Well, 15.7%. The Ghanaian cedi has fallen 20% on the dollar, the worst after Russia, which has a lot of sanctions against it.
It began to firm up. It has begun to firm up. We're seeing the cedi systematically appreciating against the dollar.
People still can't employ, I was just reading today, people in the hospitality industry that you're pushing so hard, having to lay their staff off. We've got taxi driver unions threatening strikes because of spiraling fuel costs. I mean, it doesn't look like a place that I want to go and put my money.
Where will you put your money in the world today? Where will you put your money? In Britain? Which is suffering the worst standard of living statistics for over 30 years? Let's situate ourselves correctly. The world is going through very difficult times. Ghana is no exception. Nigeria is no exception. There's no country in the world that is escaping the ravages of both COVID-19 and also the impact of the Ukraine. But what you need to look at are where are the elements being put on the ground that look beyond the COVID and beyond the Russian-Ukraine war. And I think you'll find that in Ghana, the recovery program that we have is one that is considered very credible, and it is what is going to give us the opportunity to come out of this period a stronger economy. And it is that future that we're looking at when we're attracting people.
Let's talk about one of the structures that you say you've put in place. The e-levy, a lot of people are calling it a stealth tax. People who already are impoverished. It's a 1.5% tax on people who do business on their mobile phone. So they use their mobile phones to send money or to...
The digital economy, the mobile economy.
Yes, but you're taxing people on money that has already been taxed.
It's the biggest economy is emerging as the biggest economy in the country, and for a long period has not had any taxation at all. So it is important now that they also come into the net. Our country has one of the lowest tax to GDP ratios of any country in West Africa and of an equivalent economy. The ECOWAS area, the general average today, tax to GDP average is about 18%. Ghana, we're at 13%. So consider this if you're talking about a country which is already overtaxed, if anything at all, is undertaxed.
Okay, let me just up on that point, on your low ratio to GDP. I'm just going to read this quote to you. It's from John Kwache, who I'm sure is the Director of Research at the Institute for Economic Affairs. He says there are several loopholes in our tax system that, if they are plugged, will be able to raise our tax to GDP ratio to something like 20% from the 12% that you're talking about. Are you speaking to experts?
There's a recognition that
he says that there's no need for the e-levy.
Well, that's his point of view. But as an expert, they're experts in government as well, and we think it's necessary, and that's the reason why
You think it's necessary to tax people who are already impoverished?
They're not already. We're talking about people. We're talking about taxing an industry and transactions where a lot of value is being created, and we want to also bring that value into coffers. I think that is something that is very. There's nothing so. E-levy. It's not Ghana. It's the only country that has something like a mobile digital tax. Many countries, they will not like it.
Because they're already taxing people who do business online. And then you are taxing.
People never like taxes. I don't know any group of people, especially businesses, when taxes are brought to them that...
When you hear all these stories, Mr. President, I mean, Ghana was one of the rising stars of, the economic recovery of Africa, so to speak. But when you hear about all these issues with the... What is wrong?
I think everything's gone wrong. We're part of those who have been very badly affected by what has gone on in the last 2 years. Until 2020, since I came into office, 2017, 2018, 2019, the beginning of 2020, we were growing our about 7%, the GDP growth rate. Fastest growing economies in the Ghanaian economy. In the crime, economies of the world died. Ghana, we see positive growth because the fundamental economy is strong, but it has been difficult for all the economies of the world. I think it is important when you're making the kind of provocative statements that you're making, that you situate yourself. You speak, you're living in the same time as you and I, where the world as a whole has gone through very difficult times. And there are several things that we're doing, which is in the line of being able to pick up our economy again. I have no doubt that next year, if you were to come and speak to me like you're doing today, we will have a different set of facts for us to look at.
Abusianti asemu ya na nado dan kwakufado His Excellency ebeka yi ebeye nsem bebre ya chese omanfo no ebo anoso nanso be ne den wanya akoka on odi oman nanim e na osisi nti obe ne den eno achi no e na ekakra na ese yesi abatu mu a ne sa nti 2022 May 2022 na mu e na chese His Excellency the President elect of the Republic of Ghana ejina simpie ni apaso no so mafo no watimusun na osrem se abato no eduru ho amonto abana ma ne sanse ono no wahu ne se eyade a omanfo no ebo nyoso eso ye beju omo 11 ena afi nso GRA ene nkrofo mo sa hihya ase nyina no na enye omo adwen kra so om di 11 ebeba oman mu eno ntu o hye se so onya betina adwan so a obebo no homoden ese NDC amanyoko no ene ono ebeyisa 11 task no enyina ede afri ho yenkoti enemra.
When we are supposed to be celebrating workers, we are celebrating a new tax imposed on them. And already there's a litany of complaints about the implementation. I've heard complaints of transfers of under 100 cedis being subject to tax contrary to the law. And I've heard others say that they sent 1,000 cedis and paid no additional tax. Clearly, the Ghana Revenue Authority and those responsible for this tax were not ready for its implementation. Government's desperation to tax Ghanaians to get this nation out of the hellhole it has dumped us will not succeed because government's own budget proposals show that the e-levy will not make any significant contribution in resolving our problems, but will exert an adverse toll on the people of Ghana. We in the NDC do not oppose taxation as a principle. We will not be pretentious and couch fanciful slogans to condemn the principle of taxation like the MPP did in the past. We are, however, implacably opposed to distortionary and burdensome taxes like the e-levy that only force Ghanaians to endure more suffering. A new National Democratic Congress government, God willing, and with the votes of the sovereign people of Ghana in 2025, will repeal the e-levy act.
Into a casa and same way in every no, na say oye den amanfo beka ho nsem so amanfo so weni obeye one man so a ye hwe ne mu ni ade a obia ne nsem anu woka enti His Excellency the President-elect of the Republic of Ghana Papa John Dramani Mahama the campaign ni duru so no na say wedding kan say oba 11 ne sa task ahodo ni nyina no wode ne sa beka se ne be ya ombeyi ni nyina afiri ho e na osan so si su dia ese oba ombeyi ho adwuma yenkoti ne mra
minutes with audits. And so I assured him that when we come, we'll rationalize the taxes. They have signed an agreement with the IMF. And so you might not be able to come and dismantle those taxes immediately. but we will rationalize them. We will make sure that we get revenue from other places.
For Joy News, Nana Jima, Greater Accra Region.
Abusianti, His Excellency the President-elect of the Republic of Ghana, and the campaign was answer Edesaseway Etuja. Enti abusia, wenum nyina koso 11 ho. Prophet Nana Opoku Sarkodie ababonten edi nsem bia betuja etirim se the president-elect Yera JDM nkokon kitenkete the 24-hour man so betena so a 11 ene task ahodo ne betting task ne ade nyina no onfane sanka emma wonyi mfiri ho kra esanse so yifiri ho na ese fombo na ena obo man no ensem de papa yakabi yentie nimra.
I can tell you, it's going to be a very difficult year. No, I told one politician yesterday, don't deceive yourself to think that you are going to change Ghana in a year. In a year. When the damage is deep, the renovation is expensive. Give the Lord a clap of, and I'm saying something. When the damage is deep, so you are not, so don't get too excited and don't lift people's hopes. Tell President Mahama, he should not cancel the levy tax. He will need it. He shouldn't cancel. He should not. I was praying for him. The Lord told me. He said, don't let the people lead you. One of the essence of leadership is that you make difficult decisions for people. Don't cancel it. Keep the levy and bring the toll booths back. Hear this. Even developed countries, they pay toll. Bring them back. May the Lord give him good advices. No, it doesn't cost us anything. Now, by this time, we are already used to paying that levy tax. Use it. Use it. Maybe decide that you will use that to maintain roads in Ghana. Find the process that can. You are either leading the people or the people are leading you. And when the blind leads the blind, there is a problem with the first blind man. Let me tell you something. America paid toll booth. I was in Canada and I was driving through a road and I saw 2 toll booths there. You drive a little bit, there's a toll booth. Another one, there's a toll booth. Sometimes it's electronic. You don't even need to open. Once you pass through that road, it takes you to automatically. You must have a device in your car that automatically deduct. And I asked them why. They say because the road is an investment. I said, what do you mean by investment? They say a private company did the road and they are collecting the toll to pay for the government. So look at the way they did it in the developed country. So in Ghana, somebody can decide that I am doing the Pram road, but government after finish doing the next 80 years, 20 years, if I'm not there, my children must still collect the toll. And that is the way they develop their road. So don't let them lead you. I told them, I said, don't lift people's hopes. This is your 4th republic. From Kwame Nkrumah time. No government has come to power new and clap for the previous one. And I know you people, that's why I'm talking to you that way. This Muhammad that is a Christ now, you used to make him like he's a devil. Now listen, if Muhammad is as good as we are talking now, why didn't we let him continue? But you are dealing with people with short-sightedness. You are dealing with people with short memory, for the better way. Ghanaians are people who can easily forget.
Abusiama catchers are and we always keep you updated. Into Prophet Sarkodie any 10 and canon and Casa or Kayana mouth one I can't was say no, we are used to 11 years at task a hodono. Abusiano Cressa and Yano Credia any wadring or comment section ho na yɛbɛdi ho dwuma ɛde ama ha gossips 247 patch subscribe like na share na afoforo nso ensanka ne nyina achi no click notification icon so abre bi eba mfa memu a wonsa etimi akan midi no ebe matenten gram awurade ahyira me amansan chiame kwadwo fori aman nyina chiame ba kopɛ mema mo ene hwa adehye